After birth, cells travel to their final destinations in the cerebral cortex, which forms through inside-out migration from the ventricular zone to the outer brain layers. The earliest migrating cells form the deepest cortical layers, while later cells form the outer layers, completing all 6 layers around 25 weeks after conception. Most neurons, including pyramidal neurons and glia, migrate radially, while interneurons follow tangential migration patterns. Once a neuron has migrated to its target destination, it generally proceeds along one of 2 roads. It can differentiate into a mature neuron, complete with axons and dendrites, or it can be retracted through apoptosis. Early dendrites appear as thick strands with few spines, small protuberances, that extend from the cell body. As dendrites mature, the number and density of spines increases, which in turn increases the chances that a dendrite will make contact with a neighboring axon. A synapse is a point of contact between 2 brain cells, often 2 neurons and frequently a dendrite and an axon. Synapse pruning. As is the case with neurons, massive overproduction of synapses is followed by a gradual reduction. This process of synapse reduction, or pruning, is highly dependent on experience and serves as the basis of much of the learning that occurs during the early years of life. Conclusion. The principles of anatomical change described above are essential to the maturation and development of the brain. These processes are in turn responsible for the development of a vast repertoire of behaviors that characterizes the early years of life. In terms of motor development, both synaptic pruning and myelination are responsible for the improved precision and speed of coordinated movement. In addition, they are important in the development of cognitive skills. Improved perception of speech sounds and face recognition, for example, are likely the result of synaptic reorganization, a process that is dependent on experience. Although development continues into early adult years, early childhood represents a period particularly important to development of a healthy brain. The foundations of sensory and perceptual systems that are critical to language, social behavior, and emotion are formed in the early years and are strongly influenced by experiences during this time. This is not to say that later development cannot affect these behaviors. On the contrary, experiences later in life are also very important to the function of the brain. However, experiences in the early years of childhood affect the development of brain architecture in a way that later experiences do not.